All right, hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's great to have you here on this channel. If you're new to me, this channel is all about helping you find your highest and greatest alignments in the areas of health, wealth, and true love within the esoteric sciences of tarot and astrology, and also channeling God and the higher beings and the angels and guides in all of our situation here on Earth in love and in life. Now, this video and this series, we can say, is going to be diving deep into the astrology of this current week, this current moment, and what we need to know. As a quick note, two things you need to know is the astrology portion of my videos are more focused around you, yourself, your livelihood, your career, your legacy here on Earth, whereas the tarot readings are more focused, generally speaking, on relationships and love, but they both can be used for either purpose, so keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that the methods I use in my astrological horoscopes here, which we're going to be talking about, are very different from traditional methods. Whereas most astrologers, when they talk about going through the signs, are talking about the rising sign, so your rising sign, and based on what your rising sign is, this is what you're going to be going through. I'm actually going to be talking directly to your sun sign. So wherever it is your sun sign is at, we're going to be analyzing the energy in that particular area of your life, okay, which happens to correspond to the first house, the fifth house, and the 10th house in your chart. Okay, so take it as it resonates, of course. The other thing I want to share really quickly before we get into today's content is when I do the signs, you can also apply that. Say you have one of the signs I'm talking about in your, like, that's where your moon's at. Okay, or that is where your rising sign is at, or that's where a prominent planet, like your ruling planet, is at. Okay, you can actually take the energy that I'm channeling for that particular sign, look where that sign is in your chart, and then apply it accordingly to that area of your life, right? So one example is if I'm channeling for Aries and you have Aries in your, I don't know, 6th house or 7th house, you're going to say all the energy that Brandon just channeled is going to be taking place in my relationship life or my work life, right? If it's 6th or 7th, depending on where it's at. Okay, so take it as it resonates. This is just the general energy for every single sign. The other thing we're going to be talking about today in this video is the Mars and Uranus conjunction coming up on the 15th of July. Now, no credit goes to me for this discovery. There's a wonderful individual in the comments below. Her name is Sue. That's all I'll say because her name's in the comments. But Sue alerted us all in the last video that this Mars-Uranus conjunction was coming up, and so I figured I'd make this video about that. So without further ado, this video is going to be about the upcoming Mars and Uranus conjunction, what you need to know for the highest and greatest good there, as well as a deep dive into your sun sign and each of the houses in this particular video, building upon what we did in the last astrology video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So this is, first and foremost, as an additional bonus to the last video we did on astrology, okay? We're going to be talking about July 15th specifically. And what's happening on July 15th specifically, I'll kind of alert your eyes up here. We have the Mars and Uranus conjunction. And before we even get anywhere into the analysis of what this means, I want to talk about why it's important to understand this, like what's happening and why, like, what is the purpose of astrology anyways, right? Why should you even be listening to me at this particular moment? When the stars and when the planets move, and we can all go outside and look up at the stars, and we know that the stars themselves and us are moving, okay, at a certain rate, and the rate at which we move, right, when it comes to the stars and where we are at and how we're looking at the stars, that is actually what determines time and timing. Okay, so if you really think about it, if you really think about, you know, and all these spiritualists, they say, well, we're timeless, right? And everything is time. Like, time doesn't exist. Actually, right, when it comes to our physical reality, time is a very real thing. But the real definition of time is actually the rate at which and the scope at which we are moving amongst the stars, okay, amongst the other planets and amongst the stars. And based on the rate at which we're moving and the scope at which we're moving, this determines the timing of things. This is what determines God's timings for things. So if you are as impatient as I am, being a sun sign Aries, and you want to know when are things going to move forward, when are things going to happen, what am I here to do, right? What do we need to know? That's where astrology comes in. Okay, and that's where astrology shines even more useful way than, say, something like tarot. I love tarot to death, and just maybe using our intuition, right? Because when we use our intuition, kind of, it's like we only really know and get what we need to get in that moment, whereas astrology gives us the overall like view of everything. Okay, so that's why I love astrology so much. It's beautiful in that way. And so this July 15th, what's happening this upcoming, this is Monday. So this upcoming Monday, for most of you who are in a similar time zone to me, and you can see here, this is the exact, okay, so Mars goes conjunct with Uranus at 26 degrees, and I have it to the minute even, 19 minutes, okay, each. And not too far off from Jupiter here. And it's in the sign of Taurus, okay? Now, what does this mean, and why is it being, why is it coming up in this video? Why is it being so heavily kind of predicted, or people are looking into it? It's because this is a very destined moment. Something that's within all of us has been brewing for a long time. We talked about this in Taurus's horoscope in the last video, but something within all of us collectively too has been brewing for a long time that has been very slow. Okay, this feels like the culmination or an accomplishment, right? Like a milestone of sorts of something coming up, starting to come up to the surface, or be developed into something tangible that has been just simply brewing underneath the surface for a long time. Okay, possibly a number of months, maybe for some of us even possibly a number of years we're talking. And I feel like this moment come July 15th is the culmination, or a big step in the right direction, or a big milestone, or really what's being channeled to me and shown to me is a solidification. It's like a solidification of something that maybe was intangible or intangibly being developed within you, that is now starting to be shown or validated as a real truth or a reality, okay? Or something that maybe you've been thinking of or dreaming of or visualizing for a long time, like getting a first step into the right direction, into solidity. Okay, that's the biggest thing. First right off the bat, that I want to share with you is that this Mars conjunction with Uranus is the cause for celebration. It feels like a cause for celebration. And the biggest thing is we're not even here at Jupiter yet, right? Like we're not even really that close to Jupiter here. Okay, Jupiter's all the way in the next sign in Gemini at 11 degrees. And you know, we're a bit far away from that. Okay, we are gonna. I mean, at some point, we're definitely going to. At least Mars is going to catch Jupiter. I'm not sure about Uranus. I don't know the rates of the planets very well. I'm pretty sure they both will at some point. But there's a couple things I want to share just from a channel perspective here. Is number one, this is a milestone. Number two, there's still more milestones to get to. Okay, when it comes to the full-on development of whatever it is that's been brewing within you and within all of us collectively at this time, that you are excited about. Okay, it's something to be really happy about, really excited about, and something that maybe can now be really visibly seen or witnessed, I'm getting as well, or, you know, observed from other people. Like other people are starting to see the thing that's been brewing inside of you that's now ready to start to come out. And because what I get is like whatever's being born or coming out from you, okay, in a good way, is, you know, it has to come out in stages. That's what I'm getting as well, right? And it's like this thing that's slowly being born from you, or is being created from you as you are right now. It's like this is the kind of the first big milestone. Okay, that's what I'm getting. The first big milestone of like what has been brewing within you and what needs to come out for the world, or what wants to come out for the world, that you want to show up as, or show up in, or something that you're building or creating for the world as well, or something generally that's going to be beneficial for the world around you. And not only that, there will be more cause to celebrate down the line. Okay, so this is not what I'm being told and shown is this is not the only milestone, the only cause for celebration to be had in the future when it comes to this particular thing. Now, what is this particular thing? Again, this is something that has been intangibly brewing within you for a long time that has to do with your creative essence or your creative genius or something that's been unspoken but energetically strong or present within you that now is starting to be, again, physically manifest or shown up in a solid, real, tangible way. Okay. And the first milestone, or what I'm showing is like being shown as like proof of that. Like, it's almost like, hey, God, I've been doing my homework. Here's proof that I've been doing my homework. That's kind of the energy of it. Like, here's some proof, or God really is giving you proof that what you've been doing is paying off, is really how it is being shown to me here. Okay. So what I would say is generally a very positive milestone here. It means also that you're getting closer. Okay. You're getting close. Remember, you're moving closer to Jupiter here. All right. And so it's you're making progress. You're making progress. That's what I keep getting. You're making progress. You're going in the right direction. It may not be fully ready just yet, but it's a more than a big step in the right direction. It's like, like when we landed on the moon and the astronaut was like, well, that's one small step for mankind and one small step for man, one huge leap for mankind. It's that kind of milestone step within your own life and for what you're creating within yourself that is going to be happening here in and around the Mars and Uranus conjunction on July 15th. And officially, if you want to mark it on your dates and calendars, 7:12 a.m. This is Mountain Time, so adjust accordingly. And you can look at what I want to encourage you is look at wherever this is, occurring in your chart. Okay, so this is the sign of Taurus. Go ahead and look. What's going on in your Taurus, in your astrological chart? Do you have any signs there? Do you have your sun sign there, your moon sign? Is it your rising sign placement? Is it your ruling planet? Okay, so go ahead and look for where that is. You've heard me say ruling planet a couple times. Some of you are like, well, what the heck is that? The ruling planet is the planet that rules the rising sign. So in this particular chart, the rising sign would be Leo. And so what planet rules Leo? The sun. And your ruling planet would be the sun, if you were a Leo rising, for example. Okay. And the ruling planet is basically it's called the chart ruler because it's like a fourth defining energy, as what I look at it as. Like, you have the rising sign that defines your physical body and characteristics and the rest of your life journey as it is, right? It's where you start. You have your sun sign, which is all about your livelihood, the way you're showing up to the world, the way other people perceive you as well. It's your power, your ego, right? Your look at me, okay? And your energetic strength is what I would say as well, the sun, and where you shine the most in life, generally speaking. And then your moon, which is the deep unconscious parts within you, the secret parts within you as well, but the hidden emotional truth and way that you look at and feel about the world secretly or within is the moon sign. And also your emotional reality. And then so those are like the big three. And then the ruling planet is like a defining energy to all three of those, if that's the way you want to look at it. It's like, for example, if I were to have if my ruling planet, for example, were to be Mercury, let's just say, and my Mercury were in, I don't know, Pisces or something like that. Let's just say, for example, if my Mercury was in Pisces, it's my ruling planet. Well, all of the other big three parts of me in my chart would be also generally characterized by the energy of Pisces, which is going to be a bit of an intuitive appeal, a bit of a etheric or energetic awareness of the world and the subconscious, a different flair or lens or perspective of how I'm showing up in the world as well, and also like helping people within it. Okay, it's going to be very maybe spiritually attuned or esoterically attuned rather than just like practically attuned. All right, so that's going to help really define and give another layer to who I am as a person. So always check for your ruling planet, your chart ruler as well, to give an extra layer to who you are and how that's placed. Okay. All that being said, that is the Mars and Uranus conjunction. This was just meant to be a quick overview because the real job of this video is to go into all the rest of the horoscopes like we promised in the last video. Okay, now if you haven't watched the last video, be sure to watch it up there. It should be linked up there, because towards the end of the video, we go through the first 4 signs of the zodiac, which are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. And I always start burping when I channel for some reason, so apologies. So we've already gone through Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. So we're not going to be going through that in this video. But if that is where your sun sign is at, or you want to go refresh yourself on what I shared in that video, feel free to check it out. And then you can come back and watch another sign in this video. But in this particular video, we're going to continue on to the rest of the signs. We're going to go with Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Okay, so strap in. This is designated for your sun sign. All right, but you can also take this if you're more advanced and you want to say, well, what's happening in my moon sign, right? My moon's sign, the sign my moon is in. What's happening there? What do I need to know about? Because those things I channel might be happening in an emotional or deeply subconscious way for you, rather than like in your external life, like if it were in the sun, your sun sign. Okay. So always take it as it resonates. Feel free to watch what signs are applicable to you. All right, moving into, this is the sign of Leo. Okay. And so as we mentioned already, what is the ruling planet of Leo? Leo is ruled by the sun. So we're also going to be taking a look at where the sun is at in this, at this time, to really give a flair. And everything I'm going to say for you, what I can say is everything I'm going to say for every sign right now, even though it's just going to be for where the planets are at for July 12th, which is the date most of you are going to see this video, know that this is meant to apply for you for the next week at least. Okay, so this is considered a weekly horoscope. You can count on the energies I'm going to channel being your weekly channeled energies. Okay, all right. So we have Mercury here. We have Venus just entering your sign, okay? I believe as of the 12th. So it's just freshly entering in. And then your ruling planet, the sun, here in Cancer, as we channeled initially before. Okay. Which, of course, by the end of the month will be moving into your sign. Okay, so happy upcoming birthday, Leos. So what does this mean? Leo, this means that you right now are likely pursuing something when it comes to your artistic capabilities, or you're trying to figure out how you could use your authentic or artistic capabilities to either strengthen your current career or business, or how you can start to utilize those artistic capabilities to create something when it comes to your life, generally speaking, whether that's in career or another part of your life. And what I see here is a specifically defined focus or interest into that area of your life for the upcoming week here, Leo. Like Venus just entering your sign is showing me that it's like, oh, I'm starting to get this flair to me, right? Like this genuinely inspired flair that wants to explore how I can use my creative talents and capabilities as an asset to my life, rather than just something at the side, right? Or on the background of who I am. I want to be able to start to use who and what I am and my ability to create, maybe even create for a living, is what I'm seeing for you, Leo. Like maybe you're looking at how I can use these capabilities to create for a living, okay? It's the biggest thing I'm getting for a lot of you sun sign Leos. And so, but Mercury's here. So you're kind of, what it feels like is you might be in the beginning stages of that. Like maybe you are beginning to consider and explore different ways or different vehicles through which you can use your creativity or your talents or your ability to create, generally speaking, in a way that serves you, or in a way that would be applicable within the world we live in, or in a way that would be of service as well, right? We talked about in the last video, if you haven't seen it, that generally speaking, the collective, we are all looking for ways we can serve, but in a way that, with Saturn being retrograde right now, and again, we deep dive in that in the last video, like that are also practically have a practical utility to it, right? And so that's kind of where I feel is also heavily affecting you, is you're looking at these ways in which you can use your creative abilities to help to to move forward, or to have that be aligned or an asset to you, but you're wondering how that's going to work out, and figuring out the ways maybe logically that you can apply those in your life right now, at this moment as we're speaking. And with the sun here being in Cancer, okay, so your ruling planet being in the sign of Cancer, the thing that might be confusing or holding you back a little bit is that you might be trying too hard to figure out, is what I'm getting. You might be, because the sun is in Cancer right now, right? And that's your ruling planet. So it's like, in order to really like get through it all, right? Like, it's almost like you have to go deep within and then come back out, and then use your head to figure out how to move forward. Does that make sense? So instead of just trying to like sit there and think with your mind, like you might want to do right now with Mercury here, and say, I need to figure out how I'm going to use my artistic creative capabilities to do this. The sun, your ruling planet, the sun in Cancer, is asking you to take a literal deep dive into your soul, and to see emotionally what feels aligned with you, what feels right, and then to take all that you feel, okay, inside of yourself that feels aligned and exciting and good and really strong, and then use your mind to practically scope that out, right? To practically define how those emotional truths within you are going to be defined onto paper. All right. And then that's what they're saying. The guides and angels are saying that's the next step for you, Leo, is like you want to actually then use the power of Mercury to define that onto paper, right? Or write it out is a very good thing you can do, particularly with the planets being like showing up in this way. And so your job is basically to pull out deep emotional, real truths inside of you. Okay. Like, I'm going into within my soul, within my belly, pulling out what feels really good and exciting and fun. And then I'm going to pull that out of me and write that down. And then I can use my mind from there, right? That's your job this week. That's what's going to be able to help move you forward. Okay. And as a bonus, and you have like your Venus, right? Venus is here. I don't know exactly how long it stays in each sign. I need to know the timings better, whether it's 30 or 60. It's not 30 days. I know it's a little slower than that, but you've got, you got Venus in your sign for a little while. Okay. So take advantage of that. This is what's driving that. This is what's allowing you to really dive into your willingness and ability to create. And Venus with your ruling planet in Cancer, this is really your feminine superpower to use your emotional strengths to create and put something on paper with the power of Mercury. Okay. So yeah, you've got the power of Venus on your side, Leo. Very artistically juicy time for you, I would say. Don't waste this opportunity. It's going to be very, very powerful. Okay. Now, and then your one-liner, as we said from before, for Leo is going to be line and create to inspire. Align and create to inspire all. This is Leo's job. Align and create to inspire all. Okay? That's your mantra. You could say this is your mantra, to where if you're stuck and you're not sure, Leo, what to do and how to work this, that's your mantra. Align and create and inspire all. Okay? Or to inspire all. Okay, next up we have Virgo. All right, Virgo, what do we got going on for you? And right off the bat, this imperfect drawing is probably driving you a little nuts. My bad. All right, we've got the side of Juno here in Virgo, no other planets, and you are ruled by Mercury, Virgo. And so Mercury is where? Mercury is up here in Leo, like we just said. Okay, so this is what we got going on here. So Virgo, you might. So first of all, let's talk about Juno. We didn't get a chance to talk about Juno in the last video, and I realized I meant to, but I didn't get a chance to. Juno is the asteroid that, for me, dictates the person that God wants you to marry in this lifetime. Whether you call them a soulmate, twin soul, some people refer to it as they say it's a twin flame. I don't personally agree with that, but for many other reasons, you can watch another video of mine. But Juno for me is the person, right? That is the person that you're meant to be with in this lifetime. Okay, that's what Juno dictates here. And so Juno being in your sign, Virgo, right now, your life may be very catered towards or focused on or specifically pertaining to the person that you are meant to be with in this lifetime. Either you feel you are getting ready for that person, right? To be with that person, to have a relationship with that person, or you are looking to find that person right now, or you feel that you've already found that person. It's just you are getting your life in order to be able to be with them or to be more aligned with them. This is also applicable to people in relationships, of course, I should mention. So it feels to me like you might be going through a bit of a shift or a transformation, or you've been going through a transformation in order to be ready for or to prepare for or to get into the next stage of your relationship life with and or for your person in this lifetime. Whether you know them now yet or not is right. It's all the same. It's the same energy. It's that your life right now is hitting a particular, we could say, milestone or a particular shift when it comes to you doing or being or realizing what you want and what you need to be and what you need to have as well when it comes to your partnership and your relationship life. Okay. You also may be getting even more specifics or specific clarity around your ideal partner in this lifetime, Virgo. Okay. That's another thing Juno, the asteroid, can do is when it hits your sign, you could be very sensitive to who is and who is not for you in this lifetime, right? So let's say you were with a person and you just like you didn't know at the time, you thought they were the one. It's like Juno hits your sign. It's like it's a very strong, you get a very strong clarity that that person is or is not the one, okay? Because Juno's there. And so you're like, that person's not the one because I know I want this, or this person could be the one, right? It's like, so Juno will give you that strong, innate sense of clarity, and help you really match up energetically to the relationship, to the person that you're meant to be with. All right. So utilize, I would say, Virgo, the power of Juno to make sure that you know, right, and you have complete clarity and you are attuned to being with the person that you want to be with in this lifetime, right? Whether you're in a relationship with them now or you're not, you don't know them, or you do know who it is, but you're not together. This is your time to really be aligned with that energy, know that energy, have specific clarity about that energy, and to really prepare, I would say, to be prepared, to be prepared and to prepare for the next level or next stage of relationship or love in your life that is coming soon. Okay? That's where your life or energy, I would say, is maybe catered to or pertaining to you sun sign Virgos. We also have Mercury, right? Your ruling planet Mercury in Leo here. All right. So this, for some of you, this could be something, again, Mercury in Leo, this is something that you have a lot of, you might be discovering your passion about. Okay. That's what I'm getting is like, because that's your ruling planets in Leo, and Leo is the most passionate sign, zodiac sign, and all the signs. some inner parts of you, right? I would say are being, in the most PG way, turned on in a big, exciting way, right? You might discover that you have a lot of passion and a lot of fire and a lot of zest, okay, for the one that you want to be with, all right, generally speaking, that you never knew existed, okay? And Mercury is here saying you're kind of trying to, you're like, whoa, I didn't know that type of energy existed, and you're figuring it out within you, and you're looking at it, and you're like, well, how does this, wow, okay, how does this fit into the rest of me, and what do I do with this, You might be saying, like, what the heck do I do with all this fire? What do I do with all this passion that I have for my person, or for my relationship, or for my destined partnership, or my current marriage? What do I do with this? It's crazy. And remember, Virgo is the most feminine sign in the zodiac, right? So could be a very deeply embedded feminine passion, or urgency, we'll say, to unite with the one that you want to be with. And so I would just say enjoy it. Okay, you're you're Virgo, because Virgo, you're kind of, you're the one that's, Mercury's your ruling planet. It's like you want to think about everything, right? And it's like this time you're just unleash 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 this is weird. Unleash, or unleash the inner passion. Okay? And also, don't hold back. Don't hold it back. Right? Whatever area of life that you might feel this in, it could, again, I'm channeling here for many of you. Juno's here. It's about, or for your person or your relationship, but this could also apply in other areas of your life as well, take it as it resonates, but don't hold back your passion. Don't hold back your desires, your urges even, right? Like just let them loose. Go for what you want. Look, Ace of Wands is here, okay? On the right on the top of my deck. I'm not reading tarot, but that's what, that's what the energy is for you. So enjoy that. That sounds like fun. For once, it's just kind of like, let go, let go of any restraints, or any cautiousness that you might feel typically, or reservedness that you might have inherent with your sign, right? It's kind of letting loose a little bit, and going with the flow, right? Going with what your body wants, and where your body is taking you to be within yourself, rather than having your mind dictate what you are and what you want. Okay? That's Virgo. Very exciting stuff. Now we're going into Libra. Okay, Libra. Now, as of this recording, this isn't going to be true in the next, day or two, because the moon moves really fast. But as of the time most of you are watching this, July 12th, you have the moon in your sign. Okay. By the time we get to the 15th, yeah, the moon is, as you can see, right, it goes very fast. It's all the way down here, 2 or 3 signs away. So we'll say in the next, what I'm going to say first would be like the next day or two, and then it'll shift slightly, and I'll talk about that. But right now, you have the moon in your sign, you have the south node in your sign. So we're really going to hit on the south node for you, because that's more of the timeless energy versus just right now. But what's going to happen right now is also important. Your ruling planet is Venus, and Venus is here up 1 degree in Leo. Okay, so we just talked about all that stuff for Leo. And a lot of that's going to apply to you too, Libra. And you can see why things are interconnected for many signs at this time. So right now, with the moon in your sign with the south node, actually the moon is making a conjunction with the south node right now. And your sign is typically all about relationships. For some reason, I'm getting that your job right now, Libra, or your karmic responsibility, or what you're learning, is actually to focus and care more about you than anyone or anything else right now. Like, it's almost like it's like what's happening, just generally speaking, for all the signs, is just like it's like the opposite of what those signs tend to, or at least have stereotypes, want to do, right? We talk about for Virgo, just letting loose, not really letting, the mind get in the way, even though she's ruled by Mercury. And Libra here kind of being a little selfish, right? So it's kind of like these signs are doing the opposite a little bit, which is interesting. But the South Node retrograde here, we talked in the last video about the South Node, the North Node, what that means collectively, and that we're all realizing the importance of doing what's best for us, right? And focusing Aries North Node on what we need to do in order to be able to better serve other people, right? Which is South Node here in Libra. And so Libra, I feel like you, especially of all the signs, are literally going through that karmic lesson where you're realizing, even though I'm Libra and I want to serve others, I want to give myself to others, partner up with others, be this supportive energy, right, to the world and to people generally. No, right now I have to realize the lesson of Aries, right? I have to go to the collective North Node over here in order to, be at peace with myself, which is I have to do what I need to do, that I've needed to do for a long time that I haven't been able to do because I've given so much of myself to others, right? Or I prioritize so much of myself to others. That's what Libra's saying right now, that my whole life I haven't gotten a chance to do what I need to do for myself, right? Because all of that energy, that time has been dedicated to what I love doing, Libra, which is giving to others, partnering with others, right? Serving the other. Okay, it's really what you're made of. So with the moon sign here, remember this is very transient, but it's just putting a deeper emotional or subconscious emphasis on this need that's coming up to the surface for Libras of it's really important that I emotionally serve myself and really identify what I need to do to serve myself and meet my emotional needs. And once the moon, as we mentioned, right, the next day or two moves out of your sign, it'll come back a little bit to, the moon's there to highlight this lesson. So, at the time you get this reading, the moon will be hitting the South Node in your sign. So it'll really, highlight that for you, interestingly, right? Isn't that funny how that works? So the timing, of course. But as the moon moves out of it for the rest of the week, you're gonna remember it. Whatever you sparks for you, and you're like, I need to really do this to meet my own emotional needs, so I can be a better leader for the world or be of service to the world. It's gonna highlight that, and you're gonna have that continued focus throughout the week, and really, the continued lesson for you with this placement is continuing to service yourself. Okay. I know it sounds a little weird. You're continuing to service yourself in the best possible way and work for yourself. Okay. And this karmic lesson, it could be, it's definitely highlighted for you. It doesn't have to be necessarily about your romantic relationship or anything like that, but it could. Or also it could be manifesting in some other area of your life where, let's say, you need to not talk to your family for a bit because you have to build a business or you have to focus on your work, or you tell your family, if you have a family, you're like, or you're like inner family, right? Like you have kids and stuff. You're like, hey kids, I love you so much, but daddy or mommy needs to do this thing so I can better serve you all, right? That's that kind of energy, Libra, that you're learning that's okay. Like you're not being selfish for that. It's not bad for you to do that, right? And I feel that's really tough for a Libra sun sign because that's been your identity, right? Up until this point where the universe is forcing you to kind of learn this balance. So Libra, I would say your lesson here is to I was going to say not feel bad, but that would be kind of a double negative. So feel good about feeling yourself. Okay. And we could even change that out for fulfilling too. Feel good about fulfilling yourself and feeling yourself, right? And know that there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with feeling yourself and fulfilling yourself first at this time, particularly because unless you do that, you will not be fully prepared or able to then serve others in the best possible way moving forward. Okay, that is literally the biggest. I mean, you are experiencing of all the signs, and if you have Libra in a significant place in your chart, right, this is what you're likely going through, okay, in that area of your life. All right, so check out where that's at. But also one thing too, if you do have access to your chart, you watching, and you know your south node and north node placements, check those placements too, because those will have relevance for all the things I'm channeling here. And so you may be able to take multiple things, multiple signs from what I'm channeling and see precisely where that's at in your chart and how that's affecting your life right now. Okay. All right. Exciting stuff. So moving on to Scorpio right here. All right, Scorpio. So what do we got going on for you? We have Pallas. All right, we talked a little bit about Pallas in the last video, asteroid that's related to Athena, the goddess warrior Athena. And Athena, or Pallas generally, is meant to lead and inspire, okay, at the forefront of humanity, really. But she's meant to do it in a fiercely feminine way. And really what that means is by inspiring through her existence, okay? Pallas is here to inspire through her existence. So it means taking everything that you are and showing up with it unabashedly, saying, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I represent, love it, hate it, I don't care, I'm just here to inspire you all from watching, right? That's you, Scorpio, right now, okay? Where can you do that even more powerfully? And I would say unabashedly, right? Unashamedly, right? With no shame. Just here's who I am. Here's what I'm going through. Here's my current lessons or my circumstances, and putting it out there and saying, this is what I'm doing, who I am. This is, and how I'm here to inspire you too, right? And that's Pallas. Okay, that's the asteroid Pallas. So I feel you're learning a very essential lesson, sun sign Scorpios, when it comes to your way of leadership, right? That leadership doesn't always have to be this flashy external, I have this many followers type of thing, vanity kind of thing. It can just be, no, I'm showing up as I am, for who I am, to whoever wants to see it, or even who doesn't want to see it, right? And take it or leave it. You know, I'm here to lead and by my existence, right? That's sun sign Scorpio Pallas energy right there. Okay. Now, you are ruled, Scorpio, by Mars. Is that traditional? I think that's no, you're ruled by Pluto. The modern ruler is Pluto. The traditional ruler is Mars. I don't know why Mars came to mind. We might look at Mars just to see what's going on, because that's the first thing that came to me. But we'll look at Pluto, because Pluto's your modern ruler here. So Pluto's in Aquarius. Okay, so your ruling planet for your sun sign, wherever you're looking at Scorpio for your chart, is the first degree of Aquarius here, and it's one of the retrograde planets. That's maybe why they want me to look at Mars as well. So Mars is up here. Yeah, well, Mars will be making that big conjunction to Uranus. So Scorpio, you got a lot of things brewing. Okay, we talk about brewing. You know, like this is probably, of all the signs, you know, based on your true nature, right? Like you have the most, I would say, brewing underneath the surface, because for God's sakes, I mean, you're ruled by Pluto, which is in retrograde right now in Aquarius. So you probably have this really deep-seated concern or awareness also about the state of things in our society. Remember, we talked about all the stuff, right? The unbiased stuff, right? We talked about with our leaders, right? Tried to be as unbiased as possible, but some people kind of saw through that, and that's okay. And then Mars hitting that conjunction with Uranus coming up here, right? So, yeah, Scorpio, I would say you have some really big things that are coming up, okay, internally, emotionally, that are also wanting to then manifest themselves on the surface, to be brought out for the world to see. That also has to do with your, you know, as we mentioned, your ability to lead others to a certain destination or in a certain way. that's inspiring for them through your very existence, right? And I'll take it one step further and say, this is, out of all the signs, this sign for you is probably most affiliated with your, like, how you're here to impact the world on a collective level, like the society, right? Because one of the things we talked about, Pluto being retrograde in Aquarius, and that's your ruler. It's like you have this deeply innate understanding within you about how things are not good or crumbling or need to crumble. That's you, right? That's your sign. And Scorpio, you're the most aware of it, of everyone. And so whatever you are wanting to be or produce or show up or create is gonna be affiliated to the solution that that our world needs. Okay, that is gonna help with things in our world and our society, that we need to share or we need to talk about or we need to be about, right? So I want you to think about, Scorpio, like, what is deeply bothering me? Okay, like your homework this week is, what is deeply bothering me about the world and society right now, and how does that affect me, and how do I want to show up in time when you're ready as the change to that, as the answer to that. Okay, because you're really, I've channeled this in other videos, but Scorpio, I just see it, in this chart. It's like you are being called to the world stage in this lifetime, whether you like it or not, right? Scorpio's kind of the sign that is a little underneath the surface, or maybe sometimes prefers being in the background a bit, generally speaking. But this time, no, God and the universe are saying, we're going to bring this feminine out in the world stage, okay? And whatever problems that she has within, she's going to be heard, all right? She's going to be seen. So I'll just say, you are made to be heard, okay? Scorpio, you're made to be heard, and seen, okay? And seen, all right? For, like, and whatever it is that comes up for you, I mean, that's what the world needs. And people may not like it. I'm going to be honest, like, they'll be like, well, you're selfish for saying that, or you're dumb for saying that, or you don't make any sense, or that's wrong, and stop talking. It's like, no, you're here to say what needs to be said, right? To be what needs to be said. Don't hold back in that way. Okay, we said Virgo, don't hold back in a different way. For you, Scorpio, it's like, for the world needs to know what the problem is, and you need to be willing to stand up and share what that problem is, and not care what other people, the backlash is to that, right? And that's scary. We're not saying it's not scary, particularly for the sign of Scorpio, who tends to maybe, be a little more reserved until things are at a breaking point. And I'll tell you this, Scorpio, things are at a breaking point. Okay, 100% serious. Like, things are at a breaking point in our world, right? They're right on the tipping edge. That's when and why you're called to the surface. Okay, that's God's purpose for you, is that when things get to the edge, the breaking point, God's calling on you to be there now and to be called to the surface for these times. Okay, so getting serious for a second, that is why you were here. Yeah, if you wondered why you're here for so long, you said, God, show me my purpose. What am I really? You're here to help save the world in a way that only you can, and your energy can. No one else's can. Okay. No masculine sign, okay, or any other type of energy, right? Scorpio, whether you're male or female, right, doesn't matter. It's like you're a deeply feminine oriented sign, one of the deepest feminine signs of the zodiac. And that's exactly what the world needs right now. It's this deep, powerfully laser focused, sharp, and just like truthful feminine energy and feminine boundaries and healing to be shared with the world, okay, in a particular way. So let that sink into your soul, Scorpio, and if it ignites you in a certain way, let it out to the world tomorrow or today, We're just gonna have an explosion of Scorpios all over YouTube. Just I love it. All right, we are going to go ahead and pause for now on the rest of the signs. And just as a quick disclaimer, so what I'm gonna do here, like at this moment, is I'm gonna release the signs, right? Continue to release the signs in chunks for this particular series, because that's just how this particular series came out. I'm doing that for a reason. I'm not just trying to hold back signs from all of you watching, but I noticed that if I try to go beyond a certain scope of signs while also doing the general analysis, my brain gets fried. Okay, so it's just like I don't know how people do it. They keep going through all the signs and they have this 2 hour long video. That is crazy. Okay, I could never be able to do that. That's just, at least right now, this I don't have the stamina. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep chunking it. But stay tuned for we have 2 more chunks. And actually, no, I'm sorry, there's only one more. See, I told you my brain's fried. One more chunk of signs. So whatever the next, I'm sure that'll be released in the next few days or something like that. So stay tuned if you do want to catch your sign. But I do hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. If you do have questions about the way that I am working with the signs, or how to apply it to your moon sign, your rising sign, or whatever house that a sign that I've channeled is applying to your particular chart, please let me know in the comments below. For those of you who don't know, I also offer full personalized astrological chart readings in the description box below, along with channeled personal tarot readings and also audio recordings. So if you do want a personal chart reading, those are great. Those are one of the funnest things that I have to do as well in my work. And it's been an honor to channel for all of you. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know, of course, if you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comments below that you want more of this astrological content. If it was helpful for you, be sure to leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and I'm excited to finish out the rest of the signs with you in the next coming days and for future astrological videos. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.